Hello hero, it's Lucy Lannon back for another love transmission. I've released a few of these at the same time just because we've had a couple of months without one on the regular and I wanted to make it up to you guys. It was originally going to be 3 extra videos and now it's 4 because the last one was some heavy beans. So I'd like to do an extra with a deck that I really love just to kind of clear things out a bit and give people a few options. But if you're seeing this for the first time, know that I do love transmission readings at the end of every month. Please subscribe if you're interested in that. These are collective love readings, so not everything will hit for every person. Obviously, if you want something tailored to you, it is best to book with me privately in my shop. But if you're wanting something less love focused, there's 1,000,001 playlists on my channel with pick a card readings for lucky dips, for certain subjects specific to what you're looking for. You know, just have a look around basically. But if you're seeing this for the first time, or you're seeing me for the first time, should I say, it's possibly because there is something on my channel for you. So do let me know, I guess, and do subscribe. Obviously, if it does hit, please like. But I'll stop dithering now and we'll get to your actual reading with this incredible pixel occult deck, the Neon Moon Tarot, which I'd been wanting for years and I finally got as a present to myself last Christmas, I want to say. So Christmas may be relevant for some of you. You don't have to be viewing this at the time of upload, so maybe you're seeing it and it is Christmas and that's your confirmation, but let me know whatever last Christmas means to you. I'm going to get a couple more cards and then we'll get into it. This guy wants to hop out and this was beeping at me from the bottom. Okay, so we've got an executive of Zent, a 5 of Arms, a Fool card, a World card, and a 7 of Wires. Just so you know, with this deck, executives are, I believe, kings, Arms is swords, and Wires is wands, right? Okay, give me a sec and we'll see what's happening for you. By the way, if you're drawn to more than one of these transmission readings, it may be that the messages are a combo or something. So I'm pulled to say, if this answers some of your question but not all of it, like find the playlist and there'll be another, it'll be a 2-parter, right? Okay. Oh, Zent is pentacles if I didn't say that, sorry. Or credits, if you will. Some of you are Star Wars fans, because I said credits and I've got these glow-in-the-dark rings on, so yeah, that may be confirmation if you're seeing me for the first time. There's a definite story to this. Just a sec while I figure out the last part. Right, okay, I think for the majority this is going to be for my single Pringles, but take whatever resonates if you are in a couple, because some of the situations may be analogous to what you're in. My sense is that you are either feeling very financially well established or you're with someone who had the bag, and that connection was not ideal for you. It may be, I mean, I know it's a king, but it's giving Emperor energy, so it might have been that you felt a bit dictated to, bossed around within a relationship, or indeed just a dating dynamic with someone. As a result, you kind of turned it into a war. I want to say that you got a little bit more offensive than was really appropriate to the connection, but I'm not saying that to demonize you or to say that I haven't done similar. There is actually resonance with that in, I think, the second love transmission and the recent non-reading video that I uploaded. But anyway, check those out if you feel drawn. Don't if you don't. I'm easy. So yeah, you sort of saw this person making the rules for you, maybe being a bit sort of more structured than you like, or more strict than you like about certain things, or laying certain boundaries you weren't keen on. You saw that as them trying to take control over you, and you got a little bit combative, bit snarky, bit defensive, maybe just a little bit snappy. Doesn't have to be that you absolutely laid into them, but I think you know that if this reading is for you, your reaction was perhaps disproportionate to what the original stimulus was. And I think you parted ways from that connection, or I think at least you had some time apart, and now you're in full energy, you're in newness, you're in the potential is here, and for what? Now the and for what part is interesting because we've got a world card where somebody has, the world is their lobster, right? They can see the entire city from their kind of high place. It may be that this person put you on a bit of a pedestal and you were fine with that, but now that you separated from their kind of affirmation of you and you're on this pedestal kind of looking out to your surroundings alone, it's almost like it feels a bit daunting. It's like, yeah, the world's open to you, but it's a whole 21. It's a whole world. That's a lot, right? And you perhaps went away from this quite gleefully, feeling like it's a bit of a risk, but I'm going to take it because a new energy would be better than going back and forth in a bit of an argumentative dynamic. And then what's actually happened is that the second you've kind of gotten to your own energy and to yourself again, and to a place where you could perhaps open up your options a little further, you're feeling daunted, you're feeling intimidated by the sheer scope of options available to you. Again, it's resonating with Love Transmission 2, but as a cross-watcher. So yeah, you're sort of surveying your options at the moment. You're feeling maybe a little bit defensive towards attention that's directed towards you. This is a 7 of Wands energy, which is battling anyway, but I find it funny that like this person who again is in a high place, so it's analogous figure, right? This is you, is getting people coming at them with different offers or different displays of interest, even just in body language or smiliness, or this could be complete strangers. And what you're coming to that with is either weaponry or like a laser to expose who they are right in the middle, right? So it's like, I don't want to, overall, I'm not saying you're a snappy person, by the way. You can be defensive and you can be doing these behaviours and not be a bad individual or indeed a defensive individual generally. But I feel that in the field of your relationships, relatively recently, you've been in a space where you feel the need to put up boundaries and defend yourself and be like, sir, no. And what's coming across with this like laser going to this figure is like, before somebody even gets to you, you're picking them apart because you see them coming and you're being like, you're using your x-ray vision for evil instead of good. So it's almost like you're saying, listen, I know your type. I see right through you. I'm going to tell you 50 things about your background, and then I'm going to give my no, with that being the informational basis, right? You're kind of making presumptions about the figures that are coming into you, and like, you're like reading them to filth back to themselves before they've opened their mouths to compliment you, because you're seeing it coming. And frankly, you're a little bit intimidated by the amount of options coming at you. And if that doesn't resonate and you're like, but I'm getting zero attention, then just know that maybe that's because you're giving off a bit of a defensive vibe. My little chicken, my chucky egg, I do love you, my nug, but that's what's coming through, all right? So much love to you if that is the case. And if you do feel the need to self-defend a little bit, but just be aware that you're not you at the moment, right? Behaviourally, you're coming off as somebody who's a bit more defensive than you normally would. And then we've got the Hermit in reverse, which is the 9. So I feel like you've recently kind of returned to being social after a period of not doing, and that maybe that is part of this like whoa there of the process. I'm seeing the Keanu whoa, like suddenly being a bit flabbergasted by your surroundings. Then we've got a 5 of Vials, so this is the equivalency of the 5 of Cups, and the sign is saying you lose. So it's like you're kind of grieving how easy it was before, and you're also telling yourself that you're losing out. So again, self-concept reading may be relevant, as may the non-reading video that I just uploaded about kind of working through some of your limiting beliefs in a very matter-of-fact way, and then possibly adding witchcraft to it if that's your paradigm. Then we've got an Ace of Vials, so an Ace of Cups, hello. Ding dong. And a sun. I thought that might turn up. And finally, with an agent of Zent. So, this wanted to come out as well. This is an executive of vials. Okay. The reason I'm being told to tell you that you might be in a bit of a snippy vibe at the minute is because something luscious is coming in for you, and I don't want you, and Spirit doesn't want you, to either miss out on it completely or to deflect it so much before it started that you kind of fuck with the opportunity. I'm not going to say fuck up the opportunity, because I think with the sun in the upright, it's going to remain there for you. But this person is really nice, and I don't want you to piss them off, quite frankly. So this is somebody who's very emotionally communicative, who understands that things used to be easier for you in your love life and really identifies with that and empathizes with it and wants to be the person to be like, you know what? Let's make it straightforward for you. Let me lay my cards on the table from the beginning. Let me be very upfront about how I feel about you. Let me be very verbally generous with you, very affectionate. Let me operate in whatever love language you best respond to instinctively, which is an inherent sort of compatibility trait, right? Let me come to you with the absolute utmost of what it is that you've been desiring, and let me light up your world like the goddamn sun. Now, this person also, Page of Swords vibe with this watching the TV screens energy, or watching the computer screens, or whatever it is, where I feel they've been watching you for some time. You may be aware of them spying on you through social media or through like WhatsApp or however you usually connect with people most. But they've been looking for the best time to kind of make their offer. And they've been seeing, for one reason or another, that it ain't yet, right? They felt these two cards as a vibe. They've been like, oh, okay. Okay, I'll give you a minute, honeybee, don't you worry. And the very fact that they're able to do that shows their understanding of you, even if you're still in your relationship sphere, feeling a bit pressured by incoming stuff. They may also see with these sunflowers that you are getting other offers, right? There are other possibilities towards a sunny feeling, but let it be known that they are the sun and not the flower that turns its face to the sun. What I mean by that is that they are the person you are looking for, and not just people who echo the characteristics of that person. And that's important to note, because I think maybe you've been maneuvering away from this old relationship that was very controlling, or that sort of you perceived as being at the time anyway, and through a landscape which was unfamiliar to you, and you've just kind of taken any sunflower you can see in this gritty realism space, right? You've gone, you seem lovely, you're mirroring sunny energy back to me, I will absolutely go with that. And part of what Spirit's telling you with this mini reading is to say, like, yeah, they were, and you may have had like 4 connections since this, or 4 flirtations, or whatever it is for you. Again, large audience, so it's not specific, but there's 4 of these things, and what I'm being urged to pass on is they're not the real thing, they just kind of looked like it. So if you don't know who this person is, even though they seem to know who you are, one way to figure out who they are is to say, if I combined the qualities of the last 4 people that I was like considering, or like had on my mind through this, or that I was last sexual with, or whatever it is for you, if I like, again with the like Keanu stuff, but I'm thinking now of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, when station is, it's 2 stations, right? With the unanimous name station, like Legion, but good. And it's when they're at the, I want to say B&Q, but it's not that, it's the American version. They're at Home Depot or wherever they are, and they're like scraping their feet on the floor and like getting ready to run really fast at each other so that they can merge into one giant blob. because that giant blob has the power to build the robots that are in the van that will save them at the Battle of the Bands. If you've never seen this movie, this sounds super weird. But yeah, I'm seeing station when they're in the kind of double Martian form, not in their unanimous form. And therefore, these sunflowers, it's like almost as if there's 4 different people in your life, like, station, station, and they're ready to run together and form one giant person that has all of their qualities, that is like, station. And that's the one that you want to go with. I hope that makes sense. And again, if you haven't seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, just know that I'm talking about merging characteristics of former lovers or former love interests, and that's how you will see who this sunny person is. That, and they will make you feel very childlike, very sunny, very sunlit. They will bring you back to a youthful exuberance that you feel you've been missing out on for months, maybe even years, because of a series of connections a little bit like this, where you felt you kind of had to be fighting the person on some level. This will be very easy comparatively. Whether or not your initial reluctance towards it makes it less easy, right? Note in this connection what is your resistance and what is actually difficulty in the connection, yeah? Important distinction to make as we sort of get older. But I think that once you're past that initial stage of like, I'm intimidated by everything, you will see that the dialogue between you is very easy, that they know you very well, that they're very expressive. There's no question of how they feel. There's no question of whether they'd remain faithful or treat you well, or any of these other things that have possibly been a bit of a scary thought with brand new people. And instead, they will make you feel very easy and okay to be yourself around them. And I want to say they'll really make you laugh. That's just coming through. It's not a sun thing specifically, but I think this person has a very dynamic way of expressing themselves verbally, and they're very witty, and their sense of humour will appeal to you and put you back in the space of like childlike joy. Again, the fact that I was getting the station thing, whether or not that's relevant for you to interpret it, is partly me harking back to my own childhood purity of energy. This person will be sexual with you, but they might be comparatively pure when you hold them up against what you've had previously. So they might approach sex in a different way or express themselves sexually in a way that just seems more innocent to you somehow, or at least at first, right? And I'm not saying that they'll remain innocent, particularly if you're a horny bugger, they will absolutely mirror that. But I want to say they're coming to you from an expression of childlike exuberance, and you can't really have childlike when you have a hypersexual person. So that might be another way to differentiate them from both your previous connection and the people you've been involving yourself with that are the sort of sunflowers. They're also extremely in control of a great deal of different things at one time. This person could be an entrepreneur or have their fingers in different pies, hobby-wise. They could be somebody who multitasks in an intellectual way to the point that they're leaping from one subject to the other in a very adept fashion. And I also want to say, with this coming through at the bottom, this executive of vials, they are in emotional mastery, whether or not you're in a situation immediately where that comes across. I think they're very good at managing themselves and their reactions, and that you might initially feel intimidated by them, partly because you pick up on the fact that your paradigm is, you suck, you lose, 5 of vials, right? Your self-concept is not quite there yet. Whereas I feel that this person's is pretty settled. They may also be a coffee drinker. I don't know whether that's relevant, but they may have a hell of a lot of coffee before they speak to you. And that's why it's like flitting from one thing to the next thing. And that's why you find it so funny, because they're like, bam, 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 bam. And you're like, whoa, a lot of information there, but I do really like you. You are turning me on a little bit. You are offering me exactly what I wanted. There's also a sense that this person's high energy is like handing you a can of Red Bull, right? This is a very sort of, the vials bit of the deck is very Red Bull energy. So they could be There could be someone who drinks a lot of caffeine or who is like working in tech and needs to be energized at weird times and all this kind of stuff. But it's almost like they're passing that exuberance through and onto you. And you're like taking their cup of love, but also taking their general energetic signature and imprint, which they're happy to give to you because it's abundant, right? They're not going to run out. They're not like this person where they're kind of afraid of what you'll do because their resources are limited. This person is a very unlimited, free-flowing battery, rechargeable battery of a person is what I want to say. And I think that by giving to you, they also recharge themselves. And so you're taking this Red Bull from them, you're sipping down the nectar of kind of sudden awareness and hyper energy and like, whoa, 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 whoa. They may also be into Nightcore. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I am. And yeah, you're going to come out of this, turning this Five of Cups the other way up, concentrating on what you've gained and not what you've lost, and feeling just fucking sunny and fucking good in your own shoes. If you can resist the temptation to stop this person before they come, or to x-ray them and be like, I know your type. I can judge you on some of the things that you're interested in, or some of the ways you've presented in the past, or the fact that you were cautious about coming towards me, and I'm going to rip you to shreds or read you to filth or whatever. Like, hold that back if you are interested in them, and just let them speak for a bit until you've judged whether it's this person that I'm talking about, because I think they're going to hit you like a ton of bricks. I think it's going to be an unexpected connection, even if this person's been around and been peripheral for a while. And I think it deserves for you to give it a chance, okay? I hope that was useful to you. If it did hit, please let me know down below how and which which bits sort of pinged off for you. If you want to subscribe, please do. If you want to ding the dong to stay up to date, thank you kindly. You will get more love readings like this and you can see them as they happen. And I do wish you all the very best, and I hope that you are able to enjoy this new sunny vista, having been in your own private cyberpunk universe prior, and let go of the need for control, which I feel you inherited from this person who wanted to control you. Take care.